Okay, guys, it's time for an intervention on your nasty, stinky, disgusting training gear. You know it smells like shit. So let's fix your shit. Hex Performance makes advanced laundry detergent, gear wash, and gear spray that gets the stink out. It was started by a pro athlete, so they know sweat and they know modern athletic fabrics. But it doesn't stop at just sportswear. You can clean everything from your gear bag to your towels, your walking around clothes. You can spray it on your car seats. This stuff is legit and it smells amazing. Go to hexperformance.com and use the code MATTHERAPY20 for 20% off. I promise you will thank us for it. And now... What's up, everybody? It is time for Mat Therapy, and today we are at a really cool place. We are at the Bail Education Association. What that is if you remember last year, my homie Robert Arevalo came on the show, and he teaches people how to be bounty hunters. What? And we're in his studio. It's awesome, badass. And we're sitting here today with the guys who created Luta Gear, Neal Bernardino. That was me trying to remember his last name. Neal Bernardino, who's a black belt under Jean Jacques, and Eddie Yang, who's a blue belt under Jean Jacques. Thank you for joining us today, guys.
Thank you for having us.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
Awesome.
We just got done training.
You just got done training?
Today.
Morning class?
We
With
just
Jean
came
Jacques?
right here.
Our noon class.
Nice.
nice.
How'd it go?
Terrible.
Yeah? Today you were the nail instead of the hammer?
Exactly. Every day.
You know, that's how that goes.
Part of the fun.
Yes.
All part of the fun. I miss being the nail and the hammer. Either one.
all of the above.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really trying really hard to be the hammer right now because I'm preparing for a competition.
Oh, nice.
But I'm still the nail a lot. So
Yeah, it's okay.
I think she's
anyway,
going to do great. She's been training like crazy.
You're going to do great.
Oh, nice.
thanks. I'm trying. It's the Honored Invitational, December 2nd, if anybody wants to watch me. So, gentlemen, please tell us about Luta Gear and what is it and why do people who do jiu-jitsu need it?
Do you want to do that?
Luta Gear is a company that developed, actually, to go back to the story, Eddie had a finger injury and went and saw his doctor, and he recommended
On his knee, actually.
on my knee.
Yeah?
I said, crush.
The injury occurred from
I'm
your
the
knee.
injurer.
He was passing guard. I believe he was in my guard or something.
Yes.
And he smashed, and my ring finger went this way.
So literally his knee was the hammer. in
Yes.
your finger.
Aww. But you're a blue belt and he's a black belt,
Yeah,
so to
it
be
happens.
expected.
It
Yeah.
happens.
He was doing good, so I had to I had to say,
turn
yo,
it up.
no.
He's like, nope, you're progressing too quick. Let's stop this. Listen, an injury, that's a good way to slow it down.
Yeah.
So you were like, hey, you almost broke my finger. Let's make something that can help me?
Well, I went to my doctor, an orthopedic guy, and he taped the fingers together. And he called it buddy taping, or to
Yeah.
give it support, the injured one along with the good
I get
one.
it. Huh.
Right, two buddies. Right? So, and I'm like, screw this. I don't want to tape my fingers every single time I train, even
Right.
though a lot of guys do. And then my background is in special effects, movie stuff, and
Oh, cool.
we do specialty costumes for a lot of films. And then I just had somebody there. I said, hey, can you sew this up for me? Quickly drew out a design, and then wore it to class. And then everybody was basically, what is that?
What did you have them sew together? Like a piece of neoprene or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
First time it was.
Yeah,
What is
or
neoprene?
spandex, or
I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask. Might
It's
be
a
a dumb
bodysuit.
question.
Like
Oh,
if you're
okay.
gonna
like
go
wetsuit
swimming?
material.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, eventually they became there. I found one recently that was leather. 'Cause
Oh, kinky.
we tried a bunch of different. Well, it wasn't gonna expand from there into anything until I believe I was training with a lawyer, and he said, "Hey, what is that? If you don't market that thing, I'm gonna steal it from you." So I'm
Okay.
like,
Honesty.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then that's when I said to Neal, hey Neal, this brown belt's picking on me.
idea.
So you want to start a company because it would make a great story. It's like,
Yeah.
Okay.
injured my finger on your knee.
I dig it.
We spent years evolving the product.
Yes.
Really?
Little details like
Okay.
tab and the stitching.
Well,
and-
look, you have this whole platform to tell people about it.
yeah, it was.
We have people who wear gis who listen to us.
Can I open one of these
Please.
to look at it?
Yeah, actually.
Oh yeah,
Is that
can I
one-
too?
Are those easier to open?
Okay.
Maybe?
This one you open. This is our extra small for smaller
That's
girls
probably
and kids.
maybe.
Yeah.
That's
Or
about the
me.
right size for me.
Yeah.
And,
we should try.
Does it matter which fingers you put it on? Or-
You can-
No, everything but the pinky and the
Okay.
thumb.
Yeah.
Which there are other models coming out
All right.
that'll have those.
So does this help? I don't do gi, but I was playing around with somebody's. Where were we? I don't know where we were, but we were grabbing a lapel, and I was like, "Geez, this thing is hard to hold on to."
Yeah.
So does this help with that grip?
Actually does. I evolved a lot of my game from this grip. But incidentally, before, I don't know which came first, taping my fingers that way or the first prototype Eddie gave me. But I've always used athletic tape around these two fingers because I
Okay.
think we were having a discussion or we were listening to Jean Jacques speak, and then and he was explaining that this is your two strongest fingers.
That makes sense.
Because your nerves are like directly going right here, and you
Yeah.
keep these two guys together, your grip is just hell crazy.
Yeah.
So so I was like, okay, I'll just put them on little fingers, and that's you
Okay,
know,
so
that's
then
how it
what
works.
is, you said we took a lot of time developing this.
Oh.
So obviously it's super stable, right? Super
Very
thick,
stable.
and your fingers are close together, so it makes it stronger. What's this little tab thing for that's right by my
It helps.
my
It helps
palm?
pull it on.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And if it should slip, although most people say it doesn't slip, you just tug on it.
Oh,
and pull it down a little bit.
tuck it back on.
Awesome.
But yeah, there was a lot of development, a lot of models and prototypes, and then Vanessa, one of the girls at my place, Vanessa Lee, helped sew a lot of the
Yes.
prototypes together, and Ina helped as well.
We
So-
love jujitsu, ladies. Good job, ladies.
Yes.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have commented that it's not only just that it keeps your fingers together and
Yeah.
protected, but the compression of it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's supposed to fit very tightly.
Right.
So have you had any no-gi people try this?
Yes.
All the time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear this tonight and see if I
Yeah.
choke anybody better.
Matter of
See if I
fact,
can get some guillotines.
one of the guys
Your
that,
grip is a
that
little
we
tighter.
sponsored, Kevin Casey, he
We know Kevin.
yeah
He was on the
a guest.
podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
was he really?
Earlier
Oh,
this year,
okay.
yeah.
Well, he approached us when it came out on the. We were out on Instagram and we got a message from Kevin. He's like, "Man, can I get one of those?" And I was like, "Sure." And I was like, "Kevin Casey." I was like, "What is that? What do I know that name?" I remembered him back from when he stepped up to the one Metamoris when Eddie fought
Like on
Euler
an hour notice.
on an
Yeah.
hour notice.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah. I want him to wear our stuff
For sure.
Right.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, because that guy, he's just down.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Totally.
He's
yeah,
an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then from then we sponsored him his last fight. We have some other.
That's
we went
awesome.
and visited him at Black House. We're doing
Yeah.
this thing now, by the way.
We like Black House.
Black House.
What are you doing?
So it was a second home to me for a little bit.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
She
do strength
does
and conditioning out there. They
conditioning
have
there.
a facility
nice.
in the back where I trained.
Fast Twitch.
Oh, Fast Twitch. Yeah,
Fast
yeah. I
Twitch.
walked into there by accident. Yeah.
By
Well, they're next to each
You're
other.
like, ah, scary
they're
fighters
attached.
doing lots of
They're all
things.
connected. Yeah. Great place.
Yeah, yeah. It's cool. No, we visited them yesterday, and it's awesome. We
Nice.
hung out with them and had
Little
lunch
tiny
with them.
facility.
Yeah.
Small guys
Yeah,
don't do
nobody
much.
there.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah. Tiny facility. Bunch of lightweights.
But yeah, the thing that we didn't realize, or I didn't realize, is that he goes way back before the UFC.
Yeah, he's
Him
been
and
around for a while. Like
Dixon,
he grew
yeah.
up with the Gracies.
Yeah, exactly. That was so
Which
cool.
is
He's
really
got,
cool.
if, like I was saying, because one of the projects we're working on is doing kind of a documentary on some really
Oh, right,
unique
yeah.
and interesting fighters. And
Yeah, that use our product.
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
One of the first ones we're doing is Garrett Scott. He's deaf, a deaf
Ooh.
grappler, and we're actually going to fly out to Austin where he lives and trains in
When are you going to Austin?
December, I believe, first week.
That's
of
when I'll
December.
be there.
Oh,
I'll be there
wow.
December 2nd for the Honored
She's
Invitational.
eating.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we can all, I haven't eaten anything delicious in like 2 months. We can all get together for something yummy.
Yeah.
Rumor has it there's good food out there.
Yeah. I'm just
Absolutely.
like, I don't know, give me something with flavor in it because eggs and avocado is all I'm living off of right now.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so how did you two get into jiu-jitsu? Let's start with you because I imagine that he started a long time ago, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to hear.
Well,
No,
well,
no,
it's
he
very
started-
interesting
Shut
story.
up,
Yeah,
really?
yeah,
You
yeah,
started
you
first?
first. Go ahead,
Now
go
this
ahead.
is definitely interesting. Okay.
I was training JKD at Cass Magda's place in the Valley.
Okay.
And JKD at that time, I thought, oh, it was very well-rounded, hybrid martial art. That's cool. And then the first UFC was running ads and saying, oh, this is the first.
The first
UFC?
one?
Yes, the first
Okay,
UFC.
this is like a 20-year-old story.
Oh, am I
25?
giving away my age? Yes, back in 93 or 94.
That's
Yeah.
awesome!
All right.
So I'm like, oh my God, this is something I've always wondered in the back of my head. It's like, back then it was like, Eastern Thai kickboxing is the most devastating martial art. Or
Eastern Thai kickboxing.
Shotokan karate from the west side. You know, everything was so deadly. But you never really got to see it on a platform what
Sure.
actually was deadly. And
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that's what Bruce Lee was kind of touching on, you know, incorporating all these different styles. And so I was like, oh, this is like a petri dish, a science experiment of what is actually the most effective
Yeah.
martial art.
Yeah.
So I invited a bunch of friends from work to come over, and we all watched the first UFC, and it was just no way how I thought it was going to turn out. So I'm like, who's this skinny Brazilian guy? And then as soon as he got people on the ground, I was like, oh, you know, it's like this master of Taekwondo, 15 years of standing, kicking, just
All out the
rendered
window.
useless in
Yeah.
minutes, right? And I was like, okay, I get it. Literally signed up the next weekend
You stop it. Are you
in
serious?
Torrance. Yeah, found out where he was. Him and Hoist and Horian had their school down there, and drove down there every Saturday for a year. But they never sparred, and I didn't know if that was the thing to do or not at the time. And I called up Cass, my JKD teacher, and I'm like, yeah, is there anything that's closer to the Valley? Because it's like an hour from where I lived in Torrance. He goes, oh, why don't you go try the Machados? I'm like, who? And got the number, went, and I think it was Jean Jacques and Jean Machado had the school at the time. And
RCJ.
Yeah, it was RCJ Machado, and then Jean Jacques like, oh, why don't you go spar? I'll have you spar with a blue belt and a white belt, see where you're at. And I'm like, what? and then
Like, I
started
wasn't
getting
ready.
nervous.
I just wanted to know what time class was. I don't know.
I didn't know what was regular, what was not regular. I didn't know if I was getting my ass kicked. I was a little kind of nervous, and then sure enough, everybody kicked my ass. The white belt, the guy that walked in the door after me, kicked my. Everybody was just because we never sparred.
Pulling people off the street. You go after him.
So I was a little upset. I'm like, I just trained a year, and I don't know anything.
Yeah, but to be fair, you were only training once a week on Saturday.
That's true.
That's not a lot.
That's true. So that's how it started for me, and I started going regularly to RCJ Machado's, as it was called back then. I remember training with Eddie Bravo. He was a white belt.
Wait,
Oh my
what?
God, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh my God, please tell us about White Belt Eddie.
Yes.
I remember he had really long hair.
Of course he does.
And
Sounds
he
right.
was working as a DJ
In a
slash
strip
dancer.
club.
Yeah. So he'd come in with a swim cap, a purple swim cap,
With a
and
purple
put his
swim cap.
tucked his hair underneath. You know.
Do you have any pictures of this?
Please find
Only in
some.
my
amazing.
mind. So I could draw for
Oh my
it.
God, this is the best thing I've
I had
ever
long hair
heard.
too, because that's just what people back then did. They
Oh,
they
were
all
you
into heavy metal.
were you into Pearl Jam?
I was in the metal before Pearl Jam.
Okay, that's fair.
Which I believe Eddie was too.
You're very much.
I remember Felicia O coming in as a white belt.
Oh my God.
Stop it.
No, all
She's our
the
next guest.
Yeah, she's our next guest. We're gonna interview her on.
awesome.
Yes.
I
She's
adore
so
her.
awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's the
We're-
sweetest
yeah,
ever.
We're in awe of her.
Except with her technique, I distinctly remember. Now, she said she did this when she was a blue belt, but I distinctly remember as a white belt. She'd grab your collar, right and left hand, and then she'd put her foot on your neck. I'm like, what the hell is this?
I like it.
Yeah.
But it was different. It was so weird.
Wait, people don't do that? Because I would totally do that.
I know. It
I don't know. Maybe
Is
it's,
that not a
maybe it's a
thing?
technique now. I don't know.
I mean, there's
O.
things that I do it with.
The O, call it the O.
Yeah.
The O.
The O.
But
The F-O.
She has done it recently, I think.
I would do that. Can't you do that?
Yeah, 'cause she's not.
That
her
sounds like
legs just
something I
goes
would do.
whoop, And she can get in
I
there.
like it. Sure.
I thought
Maybe
it was
give
awesome
her
'cause she
one
was
of
so
these on each
innovative.
hand.
I rolled
Yeah.
with her
Just
too.
for it.
I saw you guys.
Yeah.
So why am I blue belt? So
Yes.
the big question.
Great question. But I want to
Yeah,
hear more
Eddie.
stories about all the white belts that are famous now.
I know.
So I was married at the time, and then my wife discovered that hey, if you roll in the metal, you can get ringworm. You
Yes.
can get warts. You can get, worst of all, herpes simplex 1, which is
Yes.
herpes gladiatorium.
I mean, if you
mat
don't
herpes.
clean your mats, but
Sure, yes. But in the 1 in a billion chance that would happen, she was just like, hey, that's really bad if you were to give me something like that. You
Okay.
know? And I'm like, okay, you know, it's like family versus this. So
fair.
I talked to Jean Jacques about it. It was as traumatic for me as, I don't know, like a football player with some ACL injury
For
and he has
sure.
to stop. And I just made myself dedicated to train, like, okay, I'm gonna come 3 times a week. I'm gonna take this seriously. And then all this occurred. So that was about 10 years of a break, I would say.
okay.
We are now divorced, but that's
And
not
then the
why I
day
went.
the papers
And
were signed, you
immediately
were like,
went
I'm
straight
going
to
back
back
on
to
the
the gym.
mat.
Hey, back when you get to.
Right from the lawyers. But the technology has changed too. There's defense soap. There's
Oh,
the
yeah.
Kennedy Shield, the foam you put on yourself.
Super
all
body
that stuff.
care,
Super
all
body
of
care is
that.
a good
And
one,
everybody's
yeah.
enforcing rash guards, and you know, even with a gi and all that stuff. So hygiene's really
Hygiene in general has changed.
Yes.
since
Oh,
then,
so
let
much.
alone
Absolutely.
just in the sport.
I remember when I started at 10th Planet, I was taking the kickboxing classes at Legends. And, you know, Muay Thai guys are just grimy because you're not in the same kind of contact, right? And so I would wear like the little short shorts and the tank tops. And that was what my first jiu-jitsu class was taking it because I had no idea what was going on or what I was doing. And me and this other girl who trains at Cobrini's now, we were standing there and we were like, hey, Eddie, can we take your class? And he was like, yep, get on the mats. And so then, you know, we'd like show up in tank tops and shorts right after Muay Thai, not shower, not like, dude, we were gross. And I remember Scott Epstein, pulled me aside. He's like, look, dude, you can't be wearing that. You have to like cover yourself. And I was like, I'm a strong woman. I'm independent. You can't tell me what to wear. This is what I dress in. And he was
And
like,
it's your first
yeah.
class.
And
Like,
he
what
was
the
like,
hell?
no, idiot. This is why you have to cover yourself up and change. And I'm all, oh,
All right.
okay. Then after I started doing it for a while, I was like,
Oh, I get it now.
I understand.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
But yes, everything has changed. Now you walk into a place and they're like, here's our hygiene rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like people going to the restroom with, you
For
know,
sure.
and coming back,
Oh my
back
God.
on the mat.
Oh my God. I caught a white belt coming out of the bathroom once with wrestling shoes on and then was getting on the mat and I was like,
Yeah, that's.
I'm like,
that's-
okay, you're a white belt. This is a learning experience.
Let's teach him young.
It's like, let's bring it in.
Yes,
and
yes,
teach instead of
absolutely.
ripping his head off.
No, that's good. But yeah, those people taking it seriously
Yeah.
and knowing about it and being educated
For
about
sure.
it, I think I haven't heard of anything. I mean, nobody at our place I've heard of get.
Yeah, I mean, people get ringworm once in a while, but
It's
that's
rare.
what happens.
It's
But
you know what I
super
mean?
rare.
Cool.
Yeah.
There's every time, you know, class is over, there's the crew to come in and bleach with water.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and,
Yeah.
and we're really, you know,
I think most schools, I would be more shocked to find a dirty school these days than not. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
it's
The
such
standard.
it's such a huge standard that
Yeah.
everybody. So you took a 10-year break and now you're back. When did you get your blue?
I got my blue 10 years ago.
Oh, you did?
before
You
I
came
took the
back
break.
as a blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but actually, it felt more like a white because everything had changed. Like with YouTube, all this stuff. When I first got back on the mat as a blue belt, I'm just like, Jean Jacques, hey, I think you should give me my white belt back. It was ridiculous. Like
I bet.
the level that people are coming in now at.
And the way they accelerate so much faster.
Oh, and it's crazy.
Well, back then, I want to say, I don't know, I'm not being disrespectful. Back then, I want to say it was the age of the nerds. It was just like people
No, you're
who
right.
were not athletic like myself, who just were geeks about martial arts. It was like, wow, you learn these techniques, all of a sudden you're like a superhero.
Right.
These days, all the athletes are now. We have one guy in our class that's like 6'8", a former NFL player.
Oh, geez.
200
Yeah.
pounds. Is like, why are you here?
You're like, you can tap people out without trying.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
there are white
You don't make
belts.
me feel
Technique, you're
bad.
good.
Yeah.
The white belts and blue belts that are just scary as hell.
Totally. Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they're just like, what? How is it possible?
So did you guys know each other before your break or you met him after?
No, I met him after.
Okay.
Yeah, in the school.
Cool. And then how did you start in jiu-jitsu?
Very similar, actually. Like a couple of variations. I actually used to train at Casa Magda. That
Oh, wow.
institute.
At where?
I never knew that.
At the Magda Institute. Wakali, Eskrima, Muay Thai.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
stick fighting, right?
Yeah. I did that for gosh, from 89 to 94, 95. But I always was very impressed with the UFCs when, just like Eddie was saying, it's like these guys, these really scrawny, small guys, they get under and then the big guy's like, tap, tap. And it's like, what did you
Right.
do? You
Right.
know, I need to learn that. So it wasn't until back in oh god, I think it was the 90s. It wasn't
I
until
miss the
02.
90s.
Yeah, the
Such a
90s
good
for
When
era.
music
me.
was so good.
Right?
So for a long time in the 90s, I was working in clubs, you know.
Yeah, you were.
So my life was completely. I
So,
wasn't taking
bro,
care of
You
myself.
want to get in?
Yeah, yeah. I was just,
Bouncer.
no. Oh no, I was a bus boy to bar back to bartender.
Gotcha.
And okay, so I got sober in 01.
Congratulations.
It was in 01 and 02, and it's kind of a big part of the story is because in those past several years, I was like, I need to fix something. Something's really broken, not really working with my life, and I always wanted to be more serious in my martial arts. So getting sober in 01 was like find yourself, get yourself together. And 02, it was March 02 that I signed up with Jean Machado, and at the time he was in Miracle Mile.
Is he the oldest brother?
John, I think, is what, number 2?
Who's the oldest, Hygiene?
So Hygien's the oldest.
Okay.
Hygien's the youngest? John's
Robert Arevalo sitting off camera for anybody who's like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah, and Jean Jacques is, I'm not really sure.
Jean Jacques in the middle. I know that.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure who's.
I think John is older than Jean Jacques.
Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
so I trained there for a little bit. And then my wife was pregnant with our second, and we moved to the valley. So I'm passing a whole lot of other stuff, but he was like, I'm driving all the way after John moved from Miracle Mile to the Grove to Culver City, and I was like, I just can't make this drive.
Yeah,
I don't
that
need
was
to
a
be
long
around.
drive.
From out here?
Well,
Like the valley?
we were in the time living in the valley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's rough.
And so I was like, well, why don't I just go to Jean Jacques? He's right around the corner. Literally, I'm there. Like,
Well, there you go. Yeah.
just go, boop, boop, and I'm, you know. So I started training with Jean Jacques in 07. It was 07.
Okay.
So it was a transition from John to
Nice.
Jean Jacques, and
And were you still white belt? Had you been promoted at all?
I was a purple belt.
Okay.
John gave me a purple belt, and I think I spent, I want to say 3.5 years as a purple belt with Jean Jacques, and I was like, why? Why such a? I was like, why? I don't understand. And then it was like, okay, I'm just gonna do this. And I almost there was a moment when I was like, this is too much. I was like, he just doesn't like me. I mean, what's going on? You know, I just gotta figure. Okay, no, it's fine. I love jiu-jitsu. I'm gonna stay. So I stayed, and then when I was like, I think when I felt the most confident and most capable in my game, I was like 4 or 5 stripe brown, and then the next promotion, he's like, here's your black, and I'm like, oh, I'm not ready for that. In my
like,
head.
slow down.
Wait, you
Slow
can get 5
down.
stripes? I thought you could.
Yeah,
was
well,
4.
Jean Jacques is.
Oh, he's like, I do what I want. I'm Jean Jacques.
Yeah, you get an
Sure.
extra stripe because
Really?
that's just the way he rolls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's allowed to do that.
Yeah.
You're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
No one's gonna
I'm
say,
not,
Right.
I'm not arguing
Oh.
with him.
Yeah.
There was never stripes or anything back before the 10
Yes.
years that I stopped. It was
Right.
just
Oh,
like,
really?
here's
There's
your
never
blue
been
belt,
stripes
here's
in
your
our
blue-
lives, so we
Yeah,
have no
we have no
idea,
idea.
kind of how that
But-
works.
Yeah.
Eddie doesn't do stripes.
Stripe never indicated capability. Stripes indicated time. So
Oh.
ability was when you got your next belt.
Okay, so stripes just indicate, like, with your degrees as a black belt, it's by time.
It isn't. It makes you qualified, if I understand it correctly, because I got my black belt in 2014. Thank you. And I'm time-wise, I'm
So you should.
eligible for my first stripe.
Okay.
So I still haven't got it yet, but it'll happen when it happens, and
For sure.
I should not think about it because it'll again.
Well, because as far as I understand it, it is a time thing. Because I remember when Eddie was going to get one of his degrees from Jean Jacques, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's amazing! Congratulations!" And he was like, "Well, thank you, but it's about time. Like I didn't do anything else special other than I'm still teaching, and you know what
Still
I mean?
And
Like,
he's Eddie Bravo.
and he's Eddie,
Yeah, still
right? But
involved.
he was like so like I was like, "Oh my God, that's amazing!" And he was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's 3, 3, 3.
"Yeah."
So first stripe 3, second stripe 3 years, third stripe 3 years, and then when you're going for your fourth stripe, it's 5 years.
Oh, really?
And then five
this is all
strike,
good
5
information
years.
for me because Eddie does follow Jean Jacques' timeline,
Yeah.
and I make the certificates for our black belt. So this
Yeah,
is good because
yeah.
he won't know, and I'll
He's
be like,
not gonna-
Eddie,
yeah, he's not gonna
I'll be like,
remember it.
did you know? And he'll be like, I did not, but thank you.
Yeah. 3, 3,
That's
3,
why I have
5,
you.
5, 5, then coral.
I never knew any
Oh,
of this.
okay.
Yeah.
So 3, 3, 3, 5, 5, coral.
5, 5, 5.
5, 5, 5, coral. Ooh.
Yeah.
3 years, 3 years, 3 years.
9
5
years, and then you get your
50.
third degree.
9 plus 15, 4 to.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And wow.
Yeah.
And then after that, another. So
3,
after
3,
you get
3,
your
5,
third.
5, 5.
Your third
5
degree,
year stripe?
5 years, then 5 year stripe.
Do you know how many corals there are? There can't be a lot.
There's not a lot, but I have to say I haven't really checked, and I'm always surprised when I see that there's like more corals than I know that exist.
There
You know?
can't be more than 40. There can't be.
I can't.
There's
That's a
two
high
different
number
corals.
in mine.
There's like
There's
black
a
and red
black,
and white
red,
and red.
white and red.
But I don't know.
White
I don't
and
know
Wait.
what the difference is.
Oh, because then do you get like the red stripe on your black, and then you get a coral belt? How does that
no,
work?
no. I
I feel
think
like
they're
they've
two
gone
different
a coral
belts.
belt. Maybe there's. Like
And then
a-
there's the red belt, right?
The coral belt's not the red belt.
No.
Jesus.
There's black
what?
and red coral, white and red
White, red.
coral, and then there's red.
Can somebody send
Solid
me a
red.
chart?
They're
Yeah,
on the
there's a-
internet.
There's, a
yeah.
chart.
I'm
There's
sure
charts
somewhere.
that exist. There's some
Yeah.
that are IBJJF charts.
Oh, I see.
But I think there's like a, but I think Hickson, if I understand it correctly, wants to do a global standard,
That would make
global
sense.
BJJ.
Yeah,
sure.
What was Eddie
He's
say-
the dude to do it, yeah.
Kevin saying the other day, there was a G global.
Oh, yeah. Hickson wants to bring some formal rules together.
like
or
it.
something. I
yeah,
forgot
to
what
globalize
the
the
name.
standard for
Ooh.
BJJ.
Where do
Yeah.
you guys stand on points?
I think that's more of a strategy game. Like
Okay.
as far as if I've always trained as go for submission. Who cares if they passed your guard? Who cares if they got the mount, got the side?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, who taps who?
Right.
You're
You're like, ooh, you got 2 points
That's
on
the
me.
ultimate goal,
You're
right?
a
Is
ninja.
you
Yeah.
want to submit
yeah, exactly. I decided to compete when I was late brown, and that was my first worlds. There's a lot to learn in competition.
Yeah.
Points, making weight, not showing up fatigued.
Right.
So if you got a 2-hour drive, go spend the night there so you're not like
Yeah.
Right.
showing up all jittery. The last tournament I did was in Northridge here at the Elite, and they had nobody to fight in the lightweight, and there was a couple of guys in middleweight, and so I didn't stress about making weight, because I think if I really am honest, I'm like, God, just trying to make weight is really stressful.
Yeah. For sure.
So it takes a little bit out of you, your concentration, your like your whole overall vibe. You're like, oh my God, like, am I good? Am I good? Can I eat anything now? You know what I mean? And then you get to the
Important
scale, and you're like, okay, okay, now you got to fight in 45 minutes.
Right.
So it's like, okay, now I can't really eat.
Yeah.
Have like
Yeah.
protein
Because then you
bar.
want to overeat and be
Yeah, you don't wanna
full
be
on the
full
mat.
and gross.
Somebody
Yeah.
puts you in neon belly,
Oof.
and you're like, my bad.
No,
You're like inverted and you're like, I can taste that lunch.
Yeah.
How do you feel about points? Do you have a strong opinion?
I believe there's room for both, and I believe that it
With a
it
good
progresses.
answer.
I think the whole thing about all of this, the belts, the stripes, the way the culture is to promote the sport of jiu-jitsu, which
Yeah.
it's growing exponentially every year.
So fast.
Yeah, and I think everything they're doing is great. They're starting their own now submission leagues where there's no points; it's all submission. So I think what Eddie's doing, the EBI, all that stuff is there's room for both. It's going to continually evolve. Now, like leg locks are in now, and they used to
Yeah.
be taboo.
We're fans.
You don't know leg locks, you're out.
You can't find
Yeah.
people.
So-
We're fans of the
yeah,
leg locks.
it's going to
Yeah.
constantly evolve and change, and there's room for both. And whatever is the most effective, as way back when Bruce Lee was doing it, right? The
Yeah.
hybrid, whatever was effective, he took and put it in his system, and I believe that's pretty much modern MMA, right?
For
So,
sure. Are you guys going to watch the Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds this weekend?
Are
you aware?
There's so many tournaments. No,
Okay,
I know.
so-
There's a lot
lot
of
of
now it's like every weekend, right?
So, like every single weekend. You guys know what Combat Jiu-Jitsu is, right?
that's the Eddie
It's
slapping
the
thing,
strap.
right? Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the slapping.
Oh,
So
okay,
there's
okay,
a
yes, I've
full
heard of it.
competition, 2 brackets this weekend on Sunday.
Those
Oh, wow.
slapping
Jiu-jitsu
can be pretty intense.
Flow
Yeah,
grappling?
Because
I'm
it's,
sure,
it's
I'm
open
not-
hand striking basically. It's
Not
so
flow grappling?
So yes, slapping is a
It's not
thing,
punching.
but
You
well,
can't
you
punch it.
can
It's
you
open
can,
hand and palm
Oh,
as
strikes.
long as
I
your
see.
as long as your hands open.
Yeah, it's palm strikes.
kind
go
of.
straight
But it's
Crazy.
on inchbyinch.tv,
Yes.
which is
Inch by
Eddie and
Inch.tv.
Mastrovic and all those guys.
Oh
That's
wow!
them.
Oh
Yeah.
cool!
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
very interested. I didn't know that was on.
Yeah.
'Cause
Wow.
Yeah, that's this Sunday. It should be exciting.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
This thing is warm. Like I
You know the weirdest thing that happened, that not weird, but I guess the most gratifying thing that happened and that we never intended is
Yeah.
like more than one person has written us about their arthritic fingers
Oh, that makes sense.
and said, "Oh my God, I can finally grip again
Yeah.
because of the compression."
Yeah.
And I perhaps retained some heat.
It totally, yeah, I could see that.
It never even occurred to us.
That's actually, so before I started doing jiu-jitsu, I was a massage therapist for 13 years. And I actually started boxing, but I had to stop boxing because it hurt my hands. And so then when I started learning about how people work in the gi, I was like, I could never do that because my hands. But I see what you're saying. I could totally put this thing on and maybe do it. Yeah.
People are discovering that they're using it preventatively, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyday training. They're using it only when they get injured or something.
Sure.
One guy used it to go surfing. I think Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had
Yeah,
injury
yeah.
on his fingers and
Oh,
went
nice.
surfing in it.
Makes perfect sense.
Another guy had a foot injury and was so frustrated he took one, clipped it in half, and put it on his toes.
That's a good idea.
Have you seen our
Amazing.
Instagram?
That's a really good idea.
But yeah, I think, and then the female aspect of this sport is just exploding as well. So we actually made an extra small size as well.
Yay.
Yeah. For the
And for the kiddos too?
yeah for the kiddos too.
Kitties.
Nice.
We may.
The kitties get
eventually
through
have
their
to go
injuries a
extra
little
small.
bit easier than us
Yeah.
grown-ups.
And then do you have
so.
like the extra large for like the big
We
dudes?
just
Yeah. We fought for a long time because there was a guy in Philadelphia who was like, "Hey,
Can
what do you have
glue
for
3
280
together for me?
He goes, "What do you have for a guy who's 285 and 6'7"?" And I was like,
You're all in a
"Oh,
knee
yeah."
sleeve?
Yeah.
Here's a wrist brace or something.
Yeah. It turns out he was happy with the XL, with the extra
Okay.
large. Oh, sorry, with the large.
the regular large.
Yeah, the regular large. And
Alright.
so for a long time, I was like,
You mean men overjudge their size of what they might need? Shocking. Shocking.
You said that.
yeah,
Wait, go ahead.
I'm gonna need an extra Magnum.
Yeah. You need an XXL. No, you're fine at large. You're calm down. Anyway, what other products are you guys coming out with?
We actually are developing a lot of stuff. We're not just fingers.
No.
But I mean, we can't really say at the moment until it's a little
Top
more
secret?
developed.
I
Top
gotcha.
secret.
All right.
But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff coming
Lot
out
of stuff.
for this sport and for other sports. But our primary focus is still going to
What
be
other sport? Okay, you don't have to tell us what, but what other sports are you guys like looking
well,
at?
even
Well,
the-
these are
I
crossover
imagine this
products.
works
a
for
soccer player, didn't a
Yeah.
goalie or
Yeah,
something talk to you
we-
recently? And because
We
we're
have-
coming
Oh,
out with
goalie.
We have
that
like
makes
a
sense.
we have like a quad.
Yeah,
we're
we have a quad
developing.
coming
As
out.
far as the fingers go,
I like the quad
Yeah.
thing. That
we
sounds
have
cool.
the quad, we have the
Yeah.
triple, we have the ping and ring and pinky finger
any,
one.
any sport, baseball even.
Exactly,
Like,
yeah.
Anything.
the
Basketball.
NFL
what do
coach guy took
Oh, yeah.
Andre
Yeah.
took some too.
Some for his defensive line
All right.
for the
I dig
Miami
it.
Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins.
Oh,
They're their small
Small
team
little
back
team,
east.
little-
I've got their colors.
Little Pop Warner
Oh,
team.
These are their
Yeah.
so,
Those are those. Yeah, these are their colors.
kind of almost. Yeah.
And then, you
She's
know,
a big fan of Miami.
Oh,
Oh, neat.
there you go.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I mean, Dolphins are cool, but I just love
Like
Miami. in
generally
general.
Miami.
Miami
Oh,
in
yeah.
general.
Scarface.
I'm Cuban.
She's Cuban.
Oh, there you go.
So then, what are you competing anytime soon? What's next for your jiu-jitsu journey besides your purple belt?
I'm not sure. I mean, my time is so crazy, and I know that's a horrible excuse, but I did. Jean Jacques actually has some stuff he wants to develop with me, actually. So,
cool.
because I told him, you know, truthfully, my passion is first my art and what I do in the film industry, and there's only so much time, especially
Yeah.
when you have kids and
Yeah, of course.
families and that type of stuff. But if I had the more time to train for competition, I would love to. I mean, Neal's trying to drag me into it. But,
Do it.
I'm always like, come on, sign up, man.
Let's do it.
Nothing
Do
to
you,
lose.
do you guys train in no-gi as well?
Not often enough.
No?
Not enough.
We do. Like at the end of the class, you know, some guys will step
Last
aside.
5 minutes,
Take
take off
the-
your
take
gi
the-
top.
Yeah,
Take
just
the
go,
top off
yeah,
and
yeah,
go.
off, and then just go at it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a great experience, you know, coming to visit you guys at 10th Planet, you know, to do some no-gi, and also going to the Black House here today. I was like, I
Did you
get
get to train
this
while you were out there?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it was nice. Kevin
Yeah.
had some great stuff, and,
Yeah.
and the guys are
so welcoming.
they're top, welcoming, and they're really, knowledgeable.
That place is awesome.
For sure. I
Super
I
awesome.
watched the classes. I've never partaken in any of the classes because, well, I'm this big compared to all of them, and I've been injured too. But yeah, I love watching their classes. I can learn. Cabrinho was there training for ADCC with Kenny Johnson, and just like
he just got his
was
black
awesome.
belt.
Kenny Bolderson.
You know, Kenny
Yeah.
just got his black
Kenny
belt.
Johnson,
too?
yeah.
They
Yeah.
announced it when we were there
That's
yesterday.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Right.
mentioned it.
And also Dustin Shaw.
I saw him on Sunday.
Got his black belt.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good for
Um,
all of them.
But yeah, I
Small
love
world,
watching
yeah.
them train. Like just watching, I feel like I'm like learning stuff because they're so incredible watching these guys.
Yeah.
They're
Kenny is competing
amazing
in
athletes.
the No-Gi Worlds.
Is he?
Is he
Good for
really?
him.
I probably shouldn't have said that.
Bolt
For him
wrestling.
to say. Yeah,
That's-
bolt wrestling. Yeah, bolt wrestling.
Very
Can I ask
cool.
you what about your job, like your day
Yeah.
job? What kind of cool stuff have you created that like we might recognize?
I worked on the first Predator.
Ooh, what'd you
that
do?
was-
What'd you make?
I was in high school, so I was just like
my
the guy
God.
that cleaned the toilets and stuff. No.
Okay.
no, I made like the feet molds and the kind of more introductory stuff when you get in the industry because I
Very
was
cool.
always interested in what was called special makeup effects.
Yeah.
That was before computers.
Oh
and
my God, I was
stuff,
so
and,
obsessed with that
creatures.
TV show for a while.
Face Off.
Yes.
Yeah.
God, that was so cool.
That's basically what I did, and that was my
Amazing.
first passion.
Oh, that's so
Amazing.
cool.
Yeah, you make yourself up. I was a weird kid, and all of us kind of have a similar background that eventually ended up in the industry. You make yourself up,
Yeah.
get in your mom's makeup kit and make Dracula or Frankenstein
Sure.
or something like that. And then you find out, wow, you can actually make a living doing this. Because
Yeah.
back in the 80s, it was like a huge, monster movies were just everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's this guy named Rick Baker, who was my idol. And he won like 7 Academy Awards for makeup. He did for Harry and the Hendersons, American Werewolf in London.
Oh,
and
cool. Oh, my husband loves that movie. He
That's a
watches
good
it
one.
all the time. American
Michael
Werewolf
Jackson's
in
Thriller was
London.
kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did the makeup on that.
That's
Yeah, American
so
Werewolf
cool.
was awesome. So
He's got a
just
bunch of
that
stuff.
was my thing, and my parents were like, "No, you're gonna be a doctor," and I'm like, "No, I don't want to be a
You're
doctor."
like, do I have a say in it?
But I
Yeah,
wanna
exactly.
I want to put monster makeup on. I don't want to be a doctor.
Exactly. So I said, let me try this thing out. I could always go back to college, and sure enough, I was like 40 something years old, and my dad's like, you can still go to night school.
Oh my God.
I'd already been in the industry for like decades.
You're like,
and-
I got a job, Dad.
Yeah. But then 3D came about, and Jurassic Park, and we were all like, oh, rubber monsters are gonna go away.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so time to learn the computers. So I had already done what I thought everything in what we call practical effects, which is sculpting in clay,
Yeah.
designing, molding, casting out of rubber, and then got into digital. And then one of the first things was the first Iron Man suit we printed
Ooh.
in 3D. So they said, hey, that was at Stan Winston Studios, and they were like, hey, since you know how to make a practical effects suit for performance wear, we want you to kind of head up the Iron Man team and take Marvel's designs and kind of draft it in 3D and software and make the Iron Man suits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you work on Wonder Woman?
I did not.
She just needs to-
But I know tons of people that
said
did.
that
Your
up
Wonder
real quick.
Woman.
I love
Wonder Woman everything?
I love
Yeah,
Wonder
yeah.
Woman. I love ever since I was a little girl.
That's Hygiene, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it
Oh.
Hygiene?
It's my Instagram. I have
Oh, okay.
we have a not a Wonder Woman rash guard. We have a
Warrior-
tribute to Wonder Woman rash guard.
Warrior Princess.
A Warrior Princess rash guard, and I adore Wonder Woman because as a little girl, she was a superhero,
Right.
and she was the only one we had as little girls.
Absolutely.
And now that there's even more, she still represents everything it is to be cool and badass about a woman, and I love that how it's cool for women to be strong and badass now. Like
Yes.
I love it. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's why everybody's Wonder Woman, because I love how cool it is for women to be strong, because I didn't
Yes.
find out I was a tomboy until I was 30. I tried to be a cheerleader, and and I just
Try to
it was
force it.
never cool. I always knew I was like tough, and
Uh-huh.
I always tried to be like a tough chick, but that wasn't I wasn't like a, you know what I mean? I am tough, but I'm more of like a sporty tough. But I didn't find that out until I was 30 years old, and I found jujitsu, and I was like, oh, it was awesome.
It's like the women in BJJ movement. It's
Exactly.
like,
I know.
finding a place and feeling comfortable.
Exactly.
as a woman
Yeah.
I remember even when I started boxing, which was around 2001, 2000 over at Wildcard. And even then, they were like, "You should try fighting. Why don't we get you an amateur fight?" And I was like, "No, I'm an actress." And then, yeah, right. And then MMA started to get popular. And then when I started training and doing this, there still weren't a lot of women, but it gradually became more acceptable, and now today is like
Yeah.
amazing. Like, how many
We-
women
we-
do you guys have training at your place?
Oh, there's a lot.
Oh yeah.
They're there every day though now.
Yeah,
Every
it's
class, I'm
growing.
sure
Yeah.
there's women.
Yeah, there's always like what, at least
Which-
minimum 3 or 4.
Love it.
Which 5
But at
years
night-
ago,
and
when
the
I
night
started,
classes are
there was
No.
0 usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were just at the thing over in Burbank where they honored the first.
We were
12.
there.
We were there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we were there. We were on the corner of Roll Dog's table.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we were on the other side.
We were probably opposite. Yeah.
Yeah, we were
women,
on the
women
mat.
art and jiu-jitsu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're probably tucked in the corner.
We
Yes.
were.
I was
Yeah.
like looking out this way. Oh, cool.
That was us.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
there.
amazing.
That was amazing. I cried through that whole thing.
Oh,
I was just feeling the girl power because those ladies are amazing, and they did it at a time that nobody
Yep.
was doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to sit down with several of them, and it was just like,
Yeah.
what?
Well, as a guy, you don't realize what's like to be a girl.
Yeah.
Sitting on the mat, like nobody will roll with you.
Yeah.
Guys just go, yeah, let's go.
Uh-huh.
And you just kind of like,
It's happened.
so it's like, well, what up?
And then they treat you.
Yeah.
You feel a little different.
They either like to go too crazy, or they treat you like you're
Like
a
you're
piece of
frail.
glass.
Yeah.
And
that
you're
was
just like,
definitely a
oh.
struggle
It's like,
getting,
well,
Yeah.
learning how to
I think that
communicate
was
with,
something-
with partners.
And I think that was something for guys that they had to learn because they weren't used to it.
We all have to
It
learn.
was
Yes.
a learning. It was a learning experience of not treating us like we're glass because we're not going to break, but we will break if.
But you can't go 100%. Yeah.
go
depending on the
100%.
size
Yeah.
and
Depending on the size.
For
Depending
the
on the
record,
size.
Felicia O, when she turns it up, she's
For sure.
Yeah, you got she's tough.
Oh, she's, I rolled with her
Hardcore.
once.
Yeah. She can
Yeah, I
turn
saw
it.
you struggling today.
Oh, no, we,
She taught me
now,
something today where it was kind of like a figure 4 and bicep crunch and like a multiple attack thing, and I was like, what's that? And I'm like,
it's my thing, leave me alone.
So she trapped you because you're like, okay,
Yeah,
if I
yeah,
kick,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
that feels like, oh, well, that doesn't though.
Yeah, I
Something
gotta-
else doesn't.
yeah. But it
For
was
sure.
cool.
I think it has to be a good combination when the partners are like a man and a woman. It has to be a good combination of technique as far as like what level they're both at, and if they're both at the exact equal level and the weight class is within 15 pounds, the guy can go 100%. But otherwise, like if it's a purple belt woman and a blue belt man, but it kind of depends. I don't know. There's usually a good combination that
it
you figure
varies
out,
a lot.
except unless Eddie's watching, and then he yells at the guys to go 100% on us, because then we'll never get better unless they kick our ass, and if he doesn't want to hear that shit,
Whoa.
then we gotta go
Wow.
100%. But
Yeah.
Tough
Yeah.
hombre.
Yeah.
He has a point. All right, I'm getting
Yeah.
smashed,
Yeah.
but I'm learning.
yeah,
I
you're
guess
like,
in no-gi
learning
though, it's a
something.
little less. You have some sliding ability, kind of like if somebody's crushing down, you have more.
I don't know.
Right? No.
I mean, it
They're
depends on the
bearing
person.
down?
Yeah, it depends on
the
what
class.
position you're in.
Yeah.
For sure.
We have one guy that he's tiny and rolls with these bigger guys, but he gets on their back, and once he's on their back, that's it. Like you're
Yeah.
not getting him off. He can't.
Yeah.
He's like a little monkey. You can't
Yeah.
scrape him off. Right.
Oh, for sure.
Can't get him off the back.
Yeah, he's evil.
Yeah.
And his passing is
But he's
whoa.
But he's awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
for sure.
So
Do you have any aspirations to open your own school? Either of you?
Not me, but
No.
the first blue
You're
belt.
like in all my spare time.
Yeah, I want to be a professional blue belt the rest of my life.
Okay.
I want to stay at.
So what happens when you get purple?
I'll be depressed. My goal is.
throw it to the side. Just,
Yeah.
I don't want this thing.
Like,
Take it
no,
back.
it's not my belt.
I don't know, maybe Neal, but I.
Do you?
You know what? I think maybe if I eventually retire. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I might.
Wait, do you have a grown-up job?
Yeah. I have this company called the Shade Shop, and we do custom blinds, window treatments.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we do all kinds of houses and
All the top movie stars.
All right, you guys
Yeah,
have to
I
have
know.
like
I'm
regular
not
jobs.
not allowed to say, but to keep for my clients, privacy, I can't say.
For sure.
who,
Fancy.
But yeah, we do a lot of celebrity homes.
It's like I just came from Mulholland.
Well, I did go to somebody's
He's like,
house today,
actually,
too.
as
Yeah.
a matter of fact.
Yeah.
That's what makes it tough to run Luta Gear. So we
we
both
both
have
have
businesses.
very busy schedules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
course.
4 kids.
I'm so
you know.
sorry you have
4
two
kids?
successful businesses.
I have 4
I'm so sorry to
kids.
hear that.
That's a lot of kids.
Yeah,
You
it's
have
a
4
lot of
kids?
He has
I
4
have
kids.
You have 4 kids?
I have 2, one on the way.
Oh,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
3 kids.
And then I think that's the only reason why. I mean, as eventually, if I want to do less of the Shade Shop, and maybe
Yeah.
I'll open a schools that my kids can
There
can
you
teach
go.
them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you guys plan on having your kids train? Do your kids train now?
Not really. My kid takes after me. He was more bookwormish, and he's like on the soccer team. He's like on the field. He's like staring up at the sky. He's like dancing and stuff. But
Is he putting makeup? Is he putting on makeup yet? Is he
No.
turning into Dracula yet?
no, he wants to be a game designer.
Good for
Oh,
him.
nice.
He's in front of a computer all the time.
Nice.
Those
But
will
I
go
don't know.
away.
I think his kids are all killers.
Yeah, they're.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Your kids train?
No, my daughter, my older daughter, my older son, and my wife, they're training at a school
Yes.
nearby.
Your wife's training too?
My wife's training
It's the
too.
best thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Where are they training?
They're training over at Elite MMA. With
Oh, yeah, with,
Rodrigo.
And Anthony Hardock? No, That's Dynamics.
Dynamics,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Elite MMA is in
Bus
the,
Wheaton in
Yes.
Thousand Oaks.
Yes. I work for an amateur MMA promotion,
okay.
so a lot of the schools get jumbled up in my head because I think
that's
in
okay.
directions, like when I hear teams, I'm like, oh, they're from the Valley, they're from the IE, they're from the South Base, and then when you tell me a team, like everybody gets all jumbled up to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's. I get a lot of information.
Yeah.
Did you convince your wife to start training, or was she training before you guys met?
No. She just did it recently. Was like, well, all her kids are doing it, and I think she just somehow.
Everyone in my family's doing it. I might as well.
How did
jump
the
in.
kids end up at a different school? Like, were you just like, I don't care where you guys train, just go train?
I needed them. I wanted them to train.
Yeah.
But there's no way driving from Thousand Oaks to Tarzana that it would fit in our schedule.
Okay.
To take the kids, for my wife to take the kids, or me to go back and then come back and take the kids. We need to go somewhere where it's like within
more
15
convenient.
minutes. Yeah, and then
That's
it's kind
really
of
cool.
This is Masters 3 problems for all you young jiu-jitsu
Yeah,
kids.
like
Masters 3 and above
and
issues.
there's a lot of like question of loyalty. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, is that not cool to do? I was like, well, I want my kids to train.
Yeah,
My wife wants to train. I want her to train.
for sure.
So it's like, well,
Hey, I just go train.
go train.
Yeah,
you
go
know?
train.
I mean, as much as I would be like, okay, no, come to the school, come to Malibu or come to Tarzana.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't work.
It's far. The classes aren't at the same time. Like you spend the whole day probably at the gym between your the class that you're able to take, the class that the kids are able
Oh,
to take, and
yeah.
if there's different level classes for each kids,
Yeah.
Yeah, it
some
wouldn't work.
schools have that.
Does she
you could
come
be all
home
day
and,
there.
and like ask about techniques and stuff now? Or is she like, look, I learned
Well,
this, let
she's-
me try it on you?
Well, she's a white belt right now, and she's in her first, I want to say, 3 months of training.
Yay!
And there's a lot of.
What's
you
her
know
name?
that Carolyn.
Yay,
Bernardino?
Carolyn. Just keep showing up. Good job.
Just keep showing up. And she's getting the hang of certain things, and it's kind of like. I remember back in my first year, I was like, what are they doing? Like, why is that?
Right?
Why am I moving my hip like that? What does that do?
Right.
And I think I can relate to that right now. It's that stage when you're like trying to understand, why is everybody doing what they're doing?
It's a language. Like you're just throwing new words at people,
Yeah.
and they're like, I have no way to put that into a sentence right now.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah,
And I'm
you're
trying
like, just go
to
with it.
I see it from a principle standpoint. Like if your hip is higher than his hip, then if you can frame your body, then you can create.
Yeah.
You own the space, and this is your danger space right here.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Do you remember that, like, people saying something to you that clearly made sense in context, but like you're sitting there looking at them and you're like, I'm not exactly sure how to translate that into a way that I understand, but I'm
To what
just
my
gonna.
limbs do
Yeah,
things.
you're just like,
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
thanks.
yeah. Well,
I'm just gonna remember to put my foot here.
Yeah.
That's all.
One thing at a time.
And I think when you're teaching new people, you just gotta go like, just put your foot here.
Yeah, totally.
Grab here, and turn
Just
it
trust
on
me. Yeah, just
And
trust me.
Just do that.
Yeah, just do that.
I know. Or it's so hard not to, because there's a bazillion and 55 things to learn. I had a private lesson with a woman the other day it was her first jiu-jitsu lesson. Like she'd taken one self-defense class from us, and then she was like, teach me. And so then everything was a question, and I wanted to give her all the information, and then I realized when I like went off on a tangent, I'm like, okay,
She's getting
let me
confused.
just,
Yeah.
this is mount. Don't worry about anything else. Just remember here.
Yeah.
Because you want to be like, and then you can do this. Because she was like, well, what else could I do for you? I'm like, oh, you can do this.
whole
Then you go
world.
here. And you go backwards. You can grab the leg.
Why is being on top better? Well, because
Right.
you're using the power of the gravity.
All
Using
of
the power
that.
of gravity, like.
And they're like,
you had
what
a
else
great
can I do?
saying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you came up with that saying. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
I like
well,
sayings.
It was on our IG.
It was cool.
It was in jiu-jitsu there are 3 fighters. You, your opponent, and gravity.
Ooh,
Speak the language
interesting.
of gravity, and he will fight with you, or fight alongside you, or something to that effect. But
I
we
like
made
it.
a whole meme out of it. It was great. It was
Nice.
You, your opponent, and gravity.
yeah,
I like
There's
it.
3 fighters.
Yeah.
Speak the language of gravity, and he will, take your
Spoken
side.
like a black belt.
I know.
I know, right?
So much
That is-
wisdom.
Yeah.
I can't speak like that yet. But
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Try.
He's very good. He's good.
no.
I
Very
went
humble.
and trained with our friend Gabby Romero, who is a black belt, and I'm pretty confident, especially in my defensive skills. There's, you know how the joke, like, there's levels to this? Like, she's definitely at the black belt level, because at one point, I was trying to pass her guard and something, and she stopped to fix her hair, and I stopped. She was like, no, keep going. I'm like,
Those people are rolling, and you're like, they're having
And still
side-
not able to pass. She's sitting there with like
It's
the
still
rubber
talking,
band
yeah.
and like, nope, still not passing. Awesome, great, thanks.
They're like, hey, what you doing over there? The people having side conversation. It's like,
Yeah.
pay attention, we're fighting.
I'm over here trying to kill you, man.
And you're not letting me while not paying attention to me at all.
This is really insulting.
I know. I was just remember thinking, like, damn. I mean, like, there really are levels to this because we're the same size. Like, there were some things that I was pretty cool with, but just it was that moment. She was like, "No, keep going." I'm like, God damn it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
It's a long journey. Jiu-jitsu, oh, love it. It's a long journey, and it's like, I almost think when you first get your black belt, there's a whole lot of, you're like just carrying this weight.
Yeah.
It's like
It's got to feel like a lot of
nah.
pressure.
There's a
lot of
target on your
pressure.
back
It's like
now.
Yes.
one, you're a
Everyone wants to kill
target.
you.
2, you can't let people smack you around, and 3, it's like wow. First year, man, it's not. This is not fun anymore.
Yeah.
It's not fun anymore because everybody's coming after you, and you gotta show your superiority.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
I mean not.
You got to show your alpha. You're a
yeah,
black belt.
Yeah, and so there's a lot, and I think that almost takes away from your freedom and focus. you
Yeah.
know? But I mean, 3 years now, I'm learning to like chisel away at that anxiety, a little
Yeah.
bit. It's cool. I think that's why there's so many degrees, first degree,
Yeah.
second degree, third degree. You could pick up where you left off as a free spirit, and you're like, I own this technique, I own
Yeah.
this principle, and then
Do you abandon certain techniques at the level that you're at? Are you like, that doesn't really work for me?
there's some things you kind of evolve that work for you a little tweak.
Yeah.
Because either your opponent is taller, longer limbs, shorter limbs, and you
Yeah.
certain things work.
Trying to do leg locks and their legs way back
I
there.
know.
I'm like,
But that's why I love. People can teach you technique. To talk about that session that I had with Gabby again, like seriously, she was like, "Move your elbow from here to here," and I was like, like in the roll, I was like, "Oh my God, you guys
Oh,
see that?"
really?
Yeah, like it
Yeah.
was like the super tiny tweaks, and she was just like,
Yeah. You should come visit us.
I
at
would
Jean
love
Jacques
to,
sometime.
yeah.
And he's just like, he just sits, and then somebody asks him a question, and then somebody's like, okay, well, you got a problem, and then so they explain their problem, and he goes, okay, move your hip a little bit this way and raise your leg, and everybody's like, you see all these eyes light
right?
up in the crowd.
It's
Everybody's like,
crazy.
bing, and
Like,
everybody's
how-
like,
what? Yeah,
such subtle movements.
right.
And
That's
Yeah.
all it. Yeah,
changes.
Yeah.
Wow.
that's what I love about this is like how they're like technicians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a master's 3 problem right now. I gotta get my kid.
Go.
But you
Go.
guys
He's gotta go be a dad. Please go
you
be a
guys
dad.
keep talking.
Of course. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
you so much.
LutaGear.com. Is that
Luta
how everybody
Gear.
can find you guys on Instagram and all that kind of stuff?
Yes.
Oh, Luta Gear official at Instagram.
Okay.
That's Instagram.com. There's links to the .com Facebook page.
Awesome sauce.
We tell about our new products. They'll come out before
Bye bye.
Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, Christmas.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
going on
we
at
have-
Christmas?
We got stuff coming out. We have the triples, the ring and pinky combos.
Okay.
The,
Do you have toes?
Not yet.
So
There's-
people
there's
can
been
cut
a-
them in half and then have, if you get one of these, cut them, then you got 2 toes.
And you can stitch them together.
Or 4.
Oh.
No, we have some stuff in the works, and we're researching how to do toes. One of the things we know that are important when doing toes is like being able to your skin should still make contact with the mat.
Yes.
Oh,
For the
yeah.
grip.
Because
For the
otherwise
grip.
you have no drive, no
That makes
force,
sense.
no
Yeah.
base. So.
Or you could put those little dots on the bottom of it.
Those little rubber
Yeah,
things.
we
Do
have
you
to
know?
experiment with that. There's
Yeah.
a lot of different things. We're starting from scratch. Like there's nothing that exists for toes for toe protection.
That's
and
really
stuff,
cool.
so,
That would be a good one.
Or
That'd be good for
you know,
everyone,
I'm like,
too.
oh, ideas. You know what you could do? You know when you take a Band-Aid and you rip it in half, or tape and you rip it in half and make it smaller strips?
Mm-hmm.
You could do the Velcro ones, but the smaller strips. So then when you put it on your toes, you have the opportunity to like cross it over. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
It was kind of like a Velcro-y connector thing.
like a strappy thing.
Interesting. Yeah.
Oh, wheels
Yeah,
turning.
there's
Wheels
like-
turning.
Wheels turning. Really- And you know, and we're not, you know, closed out to any ideas. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just really, it's kind of a free-floating thing. We got to consider every possibility.
Yeah.
Because
Is this just for funsies? Like you guys are like, hey, let's do this and see what can happen?
Yeah, actually, what's really funny is when Eddie said, "Hey, what do you think of this? You know, can we do something with it?" And I said, "Why not?" I
Yeah.
said, "You know what? If I knew that it wasn't on the market, I would buy it,
For sure.
and if I could buy it, I would, you know, I could sell it.
Yeah.
You know,
So
and
other
I was
people would
like-
buy it.
Other people
too.
would buy it.
Yeah.
That's right. Other people would buy it, and I was like, you know, this has actually been more fun to run Luta Gear. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, I think my regular business people, clients, are feeling a little dissed right now.
Aw.
They're like,
You're like, but you don't do jujitsu.
yeah.
Yeah, it's part of your passion.
It is,
a
and
little
it's everything
extension
about it
of-
has been fun.
Yeah.
You know, like we have plans to visit a new academy every month.
Nice.
Yes.
You know, visit a new academy, we'll come out, we'll roll with everybody, show our product, give away some samples, and just have a good time.
That's awesome.
And we haven't decided who our December and January academy is yet, but you know, but it'll be cool. There's
plenty out there.
There's plenty
Yeah.
out there. There's no
Oh,
shortage.
it's
of
Los
academy.
Angeles. Throw a stick.
Yeah.
And then just go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just go. You know, where high profile people are at.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be fun.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for taking the time to sit down with us. Is there
Yeah.
anything else that you want everybody at home to hear and know about?
Follow us at Luta Gear Official at Instagram.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. And if they want to buy something from you,
Oh, lutagear.com. We're on Amazon. We're on Amazon, and you can buy.
Nice.
ooh, Amazon Prime.
You can get through Prime, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, you just want a lot
That
of hearts.
actually ups my the possibility of me, like when I hear, I'm like, ooh, can I Amazon Prime that?
Yeah.
Like I'll go buy it like right then.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait. Well, you can
feel
buy
like
through
at this point-
you can buy through Amazon. I don't know if Prime means like instantly. If you buy from Amazon, I'm the guy who ships it
Oh,
out.
really? Okay.
Yeah. So if you're like an Amazon Prime person,
I don't know
and if they
how
let
it works.
you buy our product, I mean, there's no literally like I get the notification on my phone, and I you know, I print up a postage label and I stick the package
No
in there, and I
kidding.
go boom. And
I
then
thought
it-
when something was, I thought anytime that anything was on Amazon, it was like in their warehouse.
yes,
I think that might be the Prime stuff.
that might be the Prime stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because then they,
Yeah.
they take full responsibility.
I
of it,
see.
you
But
know.
you're taking full responsibility. Good for you.
Yeah. Well, we're not. You know, we may go full Prime. I don't know. We'll
Do it.
see. Yeah.
Do it. Anyway, thank you so much for
Okay,
sitting down
Donna,
with us. It was
Becky.
fun to
Thank you.
talk to you and hear all of this.
Yeah,
And
this was fun.
everybody go to lutagear.com. Show them some love. Thank you so much.
Thank
See you guys
you.
next week with
Bye,
Felicia.
everybody.
Yeah.
Felicia. All right.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. If you like what you're hearing from us, we'd love it if you went to iTunes and gave us a rating and a review. And don't forget, you can support the podcast directly at patreon.com/MattTherapyLife.